Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Gold IRA Blueprint podcast. Today, we're going to be taking a deep dive into a topic that's been generating a lot of buzz lately, especially for those planning for retirement. Gold IRAs.
Yes.
You know, that whole idea of adding some sparkle to your retirement portfolio?
Yeah, for sure.
So we've got a really comprehensive guide here
Okay.
that dives into how family offices are using gold IRAs
Interesting.
as part of their investment strategy. We'll be unpacking the benefits, addressing some common misconceptions, and even giving you some pointers on how to choose the right provider for you.
Sounds good.
Before we get too far into the nitty-gritty,
Okay.
I do want to mention something for those of you who are already intrigued by the idea of a gold IRA.
All right.
We've put together a free checklist that can help you choose the right gold IRA company for your needs.
Oh, very nice.
You can grab that checklist at goldirablueprint.com/exclusive.
Okay.
It's a great resource to have as you start exploring this option.
Absolutely. Having the right guidance and support can make all the difference
Yes.
when it comes to making informed decisions about your retirement savings.
Okay, so let's get back to our deep dive.
Okay.
This guide really stresses the importance of diversification, especially for retirees.
Great.
Can you break down why that's so crucial and maybe even contrast it with what we might consider more traditional retirement accounts?
Sure. You know, for decades, we've been told to invest in our 401ks and traditional IRAs, which are typically heavily invested in stocks and bonds.
Right.
And while those can be solid long-term investments, they're also inherently tied to the fluctuations of the market. What we've seen time and time again is that when the market takes a dip,
Yeah.
so do those retirement accounts.
Yes, sir.
And for someone who's relying on those savings to fund their retirement, that can be a really unsettling experience.
Yeah, makes sense, right? You're so close to retirement. Maybe you've even just retired.
Hmm.
And suddenly your nest egg is shrinking because of forces that are completely outside of your control.
Yeah.
That feeling of vulnerability must be intense.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Diversification is all about spreading your risk. It's about not having all your eggs in one basket, so to speak.
Right.
By incorporating assets that don't move in lockstep with the stock market, you create a more balanced and resilient portfolio.
Yeah.
And that's where gold IRAs come into play.
Okay, so enter the gold IRA.
All right.
I'm hearing this term thrown around a lot, but can we just define what it actually is? Like, what makes it different from a traditional IRA?
Well, at its core, a gold IRA is a self-directed IRA, which means you have more control over the specific assets you invest in. But instead of investing in stocks, bonds, or mutual funds, you're investing in physical gold. That could be in the form of gold bars coins or bullion.
Wow.
And this gold is held by a custodian, a specialized company that ensures its safety and security.
So it's literally like having a vault of gold as part of your retirement plan.
Yeah.
I have to admit that image is pretty appealing.
For sure.
But what makes gold so special in this context? Why not silver, platinum, or even diamonds?
That's a great question. And it gets to the heart of why gold has held such a unique position in the world of finance and investing for centuries. Throughout history, gold has been seen as a store of value, a safe haven asset. You know, it's interesting to think about why that is. One reason is its scarcity. Gold is a finite resource, and its supply doesn't fluctuate wildly based on economic conditions or political events. There's a limited amount of it in the world.
So that limited supply kind of creates this inherent value.
Right.
Because it can't just be printed out of thin air like paper money.
Right, exactly. And because of that, gold has traditionally held its value, or even increased in value during times of economic uncertainty, or when traditional markets decline.
Interesting.
We've seen this pattern repeat itself throughout history.
Okay, that's starting to make sense to me. It's
Yeah.
almost like this counterbalance, right?
Yeah.
When the market goes down, people flock to gold as a way to preserve their wealth,
Exactly.
driving its value up.
Yeah.
That's fascinating.
And the other fascinating aspect of gold IRAs is that they come with the same tax advantages as traditional IRAs. So your gold investments can grow tax-deferred and even potentially tax-free depending on whether you opt for a traditional or a Roth gold IRA.
Wait, hold on. You just threw out those two terms, traditional and Roth.
Right.
And I know they apply to regular IRAs too, but I honestly get them confused sometimes. Can you quickly clarify the difference, especially in the context of gold?
Of course. So with the traditional gold IRA, your contributions are typically tax-deductible in the year you make them. Your money grows tax-deferred, and then you pay taxes on the withdrawals you make in retirement. With a Roth gold IRA, your contributions aren't tax-deductible up front,
Okay.
but your withdrawals in retirement are tax-free.
So with traditional, you get the tax break now, and with Roth, you get the tax break later.
Got it. Thanks for clearing that up. This is
Uh,
all really intriguing, but I imagine some of our listeners might be thinking, okay, this sounds great, but what are the real benefits?
Yeah.
How can a gold IRA actually make a difference in my retirement planning? That's a great question. And that's what we'll be diving into next. This guide actually outlines 4 key benefits that really stand out when it comes to gold IRAs.
Okay.
And we'll unpack each of those so you can see how they might fit into your overall retirement strategy.
Awesome. Let's do it.
So let's unpack those 4 key benefits of gold IRAs.
Okay.
First off, we have wealth preservation.
Okay.
History shows that gold has consistently held its value over time, even during periods of economic turmoil.
Yeah, you mentioned that earlier about gold acting as a safe haven asset.
Right.
But what does that actually mean for someone who's thinking about their retirement?
Sure.
Why does that matter to them?
Think of it this way. As you approach retirement, you're transitioning from a phase of accumulating wealth to a phase of preserving what you've earned.
Right.
You want to make sure that your savings can maintain their purchasing power, that they don't get eroded by inflation or market downturns.
Yeah.
And that's where gold can play a really important role.
So it's less about getting rich quick and more about protecting what you already have.
Exactly.
I like that. It's like building that solid foundation you were talking about.
Exactly. And that leads us to the second benefit, which is closely tied to wealth preservation. Protection against inflation. We all experience the effects of inflation in our daily lives. The price of groceries goes up. Gas gets more expensive.
Ugh, tell me about it. Feels like everything is getting more expensive these days.
Right. And over time, inflation can really chip away at the value of your savings. But gold has a history of outperforming other assets during inflationary periods. It tends to rise in value as the purchasing power of the dollar declines.
So it's almost like a hedge against that loss of purchasing power.
Precisely. It helps you maintain your standard of living even when the cost of goods and services is going up. And this ties back to the idea of diversification, which is our third key benefit.
Right. We talked about that a bit earlier about not putting all your eggs in one basket.
Exactly.
But explain to me how gold specifically contributes to a diversified portfolio, especially when we're talking about retirement planning.
Sure. So if a significant portion of your retirement savings is in traditional assets like stocks and bonds, you're essentially exposed to the ups and downs of the market. But gold, as we've discussed, doesn't always move in the same direction as the stock market. It often behaves independently, even inversely at times.
You mean when the stock market goes down, gold might go up?
That's right. Gold is what we call a non-correlated asset. It doesn't have a direct relationship with the performance of stocks or bonds.
I see. So it's like having this stabilizing force within your portfolio. If one part of your portfolio is taking a hit, the gold portion might be holding steady or even gaining value, helping to offset those losses. That's pretty powerful.
Exactly. It helps to smooth out the ride, so to speak. And that leads us to our fourth key benefit, which is a bit more technical, but equally important, portfolio risk reduction.
Okay, break that down for me. What does portfolio risk reduction actually mean, and how does gold fit into that equation?
So portfolio risk refers to the potential for your investments to lose value. And it's influenced by a number of factors, including market volatility, interest rate changes, and even geopolitical events. By including non-correlated assets like gold in your portfolio, you're essentially reducing your exposure to any single risk factor.
So it's like spreading that risk around, not having all your eggs in one basket, as we've been saying. But are there other asset classes that are considered non-correlated?
Oh, absolutely. Real estate is often seen as a non-correlated asset. Commodities like oil and natural gas can also behave independently of the stock market. And there are more complex investment strategies like hedge funds that aim to achieve non-correlation.
So it's not just about gold, but gold seems to be a particularly accessible and historically reliable non-correlated asset, especially for someone approaching retirement who might not want to delve into the complexities of hedge funds or commodities trading.
That's a great point. Gold has this long-standing reputation as a safe haven asset, and gold IRAs provide a really straightforward way for individuals to incorporate it into their retirement planning. And, for those of you who are just tuning in, we've got a fantastic resource that can help you navigate the world of gold IRAs. It's a free checklist designed to guide you through the process of choosing the right gold IRA company. You can download it at goldirablueprint.com/exclusive.
Definitely take advantage of that checklist, folks. It's packed with valuable information that can save you a lot of time and hassle. So it seems like there's a lot to love about gold IRAs, but I know some people might be hesitant. They might have heard certain things or have some preconceived notions about gold as an investment. Let's address some of those common concerns head on. What are some of the myths or misconceptions surrounding gold IRAs that you've encountered?
Oh, there are definitely some common misconceptions floating around out there. And it's understandable anytime you're dealing with something new, especially when it comes to your finances, there's going to be some skepticism.
Absolutely. So let's debunk some of those myths. What's the first one that comes to mind?
One of the biggest misconceptions is that gold IRAs are incredibly complex and difficult to manage. People might think they need to be financial experts to even consider it, but honestly, a reputable gold IRA provider takes care of all the complexities for you. They handle the paperwork, the storage of your gold, everything. It's designed to be hassle-free for the investor.
So it's more about finding the right provider to guide you through the process.
Yeah.
That makes sense. What about the risk factor? Is gold really a safe investment?
Look, any investment comes with some level of risk. But gold has a proven track record of stability, especially when things get rocky in the economy. Remember, it's all about balance. A gold IRA is not about putting all your money into gold. It's about strategically diversifying your portfolio.
Right. It's not about going all in on gold. It's about incorporating it as part of a broader strategy.
Exactly.
So speaking of strategy,
Yeah.
let's shift gears and talk about choosing the right gold IRA provider. Our guide emphasizes that this is a critical step in the process. Why is that? What are the stakes here?
You're absolutely right. Choosing the right provider can make all the difference. After all, you're entrusting them with a significant portion of your retirement savings.
Right.
You want to make sure you're working with a company that's reputable, transparent, and has your best interests at heart.
Okay, so let's break that down. What are some key things that people should be looking for when they're evaluating different gold IRA companies?
The guide highlights 4 key factors to consider. First and foremost, reputation. Do they have positive client reviews? Have they been around for a while? You want a company with a solid track record, not someone who just popped up overnight.
Reputation is definitely key. You want to feel confident that your savings are in good hands. What else should people be paying attention to?
Transparency is huge. Make sure they clearly outline all their fees, commissions, any storage costs. You don't want any surprises down the road. You should know exactly what you're paying for.
No hidden fees, that's for sure. What about customer support?
That's another crucial factor. You want a provider that's accessible and can guide you through every step of the process. Setting up and managing a gold IRA shouldn't feel like navigating a maze. Look for a company that offers personalized support and is willing to answer your questions no matter how basic they might seem.
It's about having that peace of mind, knowing that you've got someone in your corner who can help you along the way.
Excellent point. And finally, what about the actual investment options?
Yeah, it's good to have choices, right? Look for a provider that offers a variety of gold products, coins, bars, maybe even gold ETFs if you're interested in that route. Having options allows you to tailor your gold IRA to your specific needs and goals.
It's about having that flexibility to create a portfolio that aligns with your risk tolerance and your overall retirement vision. You know what I find really compelling about this whole gold IRA concept is the human element. This guide features some really interesting case studies that show how real people have used gold IRAs to achieve their retirement goals. Can we talk about a couple of those? I think it would help our listeners really grasp the tangible benefits. Absolutely. One case study focuses on a couple in their mid-60s who had a significant portion of their savings in a gold IRA. When the market experienced a downturn, their gold holdings actually increased in value, helping to offset losses in other parts of their portfolio. They were able to weather that storm without having to drastically alter their retirement plans.
So their gold IRA acted as a buffer, protecting their overall retirement savings during a volatile period. That's a powerful testament to the benefits of diversification we were talking about. What about the other case study?
The other one highlights the intergenerational aspect of gold. A retiree used a gold IRA to build wealth that could be passed down to their children and grandchildren. They saw it as a way to create a lasting legacy of financial security for their family.
Wow, that's really inspiring. It shows how gold can be more than just an investment. It can be a way to ensure your family's financial well-being for years to come. It's about taking control of your financial future and making sure your hard-earned savings are working as hard as you did.
Yeah, it's about having the confidence to approach retirement, knowing that you've taken steps to protect yourself and your loved ones from economic uncertainty.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into gold IRAs today,
Okay.
what's the one key takeaway you would leave our listeners with?
If I could leave you with one thought-provoking question, it would be this. If economic uncertainty were to hit tomorrow, how confident would you feel about your retirement savings?
That's a powerful question and one that everyone should be asking themselves. It's all about planning ahead, exploring options like gold IRAs, and building a retirement strategy that can weather any storm.
And speaking of planning ahead, remember that free checklist we mentioned earlier? It's packed with tips to help you find the right Gold IRA company for your needs. Just head over to goldirablueprint.com/exclusive to grab your copy.
A huge thank you to you, our expert, for sharing your incredible insights today. It's been an enlightening conversation, and I think our listeners have gained a lot of valuable information about gold IRAs. And to our listeners, thanks for joining us on this deep dive. We hope you found it informative and empowering as you navigate the exciting and sometimes daunting world of retirement planning. Until next time, stay informed and stay